say top fans. Top fans. Let's be on it. I am the Bright Queen. I'm Jabria, and I'm feeling guided to go live today. Just thank you for everybody who comes across this video. If you don't know me, I consider myself as a spiritual leader, a spiritual guide. I'm extremely intuitive. I'm extremely psychic, extremely empathic. And I like to think that I'm also pretty fun. And I just have some things that I'm feeling guided to share. The title of this live is called When I Speak, I Am Spoken to. And this is something, maybe I shouldn't do this on camera in case my boob. This is something that I have been posting about recently. Thank you for the like. Been posting about recently. Trying to do my blue light blocking glasses, but they always do this little glare. All right, I'm gonna take them off. It never works out. Anyways, I posted about the other day, and it's come up again, like this idea of speaking, things like that is 101 on the time. So I'll start off with this first example of something that happened yesterday. So it happened that I went on a date in this particular area, and because I knew what was in the area, I was like, I want to go to this restaurant because they have my favorite cobbler, or locally anyway, they have my favorite peach cobbler, and I also wanted to get a sandwich from there, so I was excited about that. And the last time we went there, there was some issue with the service. And so I knew that was a potential issue this time again, but I was like, I'm feeling it, so I'm gonna go there. And so I went there and I eat my sandwich. The sandwich was delicious. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is such a great sandwich. It was so big that I actually had leftovers, which is always a nice thing because I love leftovers. And then I got to the peach cobbler and it looked horrific. It looked disgusting. It was all like mucusy, and like it looked burned, and kind of like it had just been sitting there and had like dissolved, like the breading part had dissolved of it. And this peach cobbler in particular is $12, which I personally consider to be a very expensive peach cobbler, because it's not like it's like a full pan or anything. It's just a regular container of it, but it's very good. So I don't mind paying that price when I feel guided to. Jakarta City in Indonesia. Hi. So I probably won't be reading too much of the comments, just letting people know, because I am a channeler. I channel messages from my higher self, from my soul. And so sometimes reading the comments can distract me from that. But I do appreciate the comments nonetheless, especially those that are relative. So I took the peach cobbler back. I was like, I'm not about to eat this, but I was still like pretty neutral and positive. I went there and I asked to speak to the manager, and I told the manager, I said, hey, I opened it up. I didn't eat a single bite. I said, look, this peach cobbler, it looks horrible. Like, what is this? And the manager checked the receipt to see how long it had been since I made the purchase, which on one hand, I was like, I gotta understand that, but on the other hand, I don't, because I literally had just been there. Surely my face was still familiar. And he was like, oh, it's been 30 minutes. And I was like, yeah. He was like, so what do you want me to do? Like, do you want me to get you another one? And I was like, yeah, that would be nice. And I said all of this from like, I didn't roll my eyes or anything like I just did now. I was just very like non-blaming. I understand things can happen. You know, people are at work. It's hard. So I just was very neutral. And so we waited, and then when the manager came back and gave me the fresh one, I said, yes, this is how it's supposed to look, because mind you, I've been going to this place since at least 2023, if not before that, and I always order the peach cobbler or whatever flavor cobbler they have. I always get that. So I've had this dish several times, like at least 6 times a year. I've had this same dish. It's always been the same. And so I was like, yes, that's perfect. And that's all I said. And then the manager went on to explain, just so you know, sometimes when the cobbler is sitting in the heat, you don't want to have it sitting in the heat for so long. And I'm like, what? I said, I've had this before and I don't live close by here. So anytime I've ordered it, it's been sitting in the heat in my car because we live in Texas. It's always hot as fuck. And the drive to my house alone is the same amount of time that I was just gone. And I told him as well, I said, I've been here several times and I've never had it look like this. And he was like, well, just so you know, the heat, things like that happen. Basically, he was blaming me for the dish being the way that it was presented. He also was saying, oh, somebody subscribed to me. Thank you. I didn't expect that. He also said to me, what did he say? This is why these little notifications, they take me out of the story. He said, I've never seen our food look like this before. So he was again insinuating that I had paid $12 for a peach cobbler just to go to my car, fuck it around to bring it back to get a second one, even though the container was clearly full. Like, why wouldn't I have just, if I wanted to scam, at least I would have ate half of it and say I found a hair in it. I just didn't understand his logic. And then also this was like as you can tell, an expensive place, and I had on like workout clothes. I think he was definitely kind of trying to stereotype me, even though this was a black man manager, and maybe insinuating that I couldn't afford it. And I'm like, if I couldn't afford to pay $12 for a peach cobbler, why would I pay $12 for a peach cobbler? None of it made sense. And so after that, like I said, I gave him my responses back that, this doesn't make any sense what you're saying, but I was very calm with it. But I also wasn't going to let him like kind of push me over. So me and my partner, we left, and he was like, what did he say to you? Like, what was going on? Because he couldn't really hear because we were in the restaurant. And I was telling him like what I responded to with the guy. And he was like, I don't like that. I don't like that he just was saying this to you or saying this period, because it's all besides the point. And it's not very good hospitality. And when he said that, I was like, he's right. And I felt the same way too. But I was telling him typically what I do or what I don't do is when I already have expressed something, I usually don't go again. I usually let it go because I trust in that energy coming back to that person, which is, it's not really coming back. The way that I explain karma, which I don't even like that word too much, but I'll use it. The way that I think of karma is not really something that's a cause and effect or like then and now or something's gonna boomerang back to you. The way that I view karma is an instant energy. Like once you do an energy or like send out an energy, that's the energy. And because we live here in time where we view it as linear and there's all this slowing down in between, that's why it occurs later, things like that. I guess basically instant karma is what happened, but basically I just let it go and I just trust that whatever energy that needed to be, brought to him because of how he was treating me will just come back to him on its own. I don't need to do anything. But then when my partner said that, I was like, okay, you know what? Like, let's do that, but just give me a minute. Let me type out this review. Cause I was like, I'm definitely gonna be leaving a review, cause this was the second time at this restaurant where the service, I could feel, because I'm also very sensitive, I could feel the energy from the people stereotyping me and my partner, and making these assumptions that we can afford to eat at this place, or like we shouldn't be there or that we're mistaken. And I had not previously felt that energy there before after going there for years. And so anyways, oh, excuse me. I say all this to say is because we ended up having a conversation with like the higher manager or the overarching manager. Her name is Sarah. That name is important to me, so that's why I'm saying it. And she was exactly how you would expect a hospitality service worker to be, apologizing, saying she understood, and listening to us. And I got to have that experience where someone was listening to me and took the time to hear me out. And I wouldn't have gotten that experience if I would have just been like, you know what, it's okay, I'm gonna walk away. I trust that whatever this person, needs to confront this behavior that the other original manager sent towards me, he will get it back in whatever way is best for his soul. But sometimes it is time to speak. 11:11 when I say this, and that's the message that I was getting, that sometimes it is time to speak. Sometimes sometimes you play that role for that person to receive back that energy. And that's something that, like I said, I would always just default to, I'm just gonna let it go. I'm just gonna let it go. I'm just gonna let it go. And so that was a lesson that I learned and took to heart, that right now, for me personally, and maybe for whoever is resonating with this, it is time to say something. It is time to speak up. And it doesn't have to be in a loud way. We didn't shout, we didn't use profanity. I didn't even blame anyone, really. I was just saying like, hey, I'm not eating this. It looks terrible. And the other manager, the higher manager, Sarah, was saying that she'll definitely talk to him about that, because he shouldn't have been, accusatory towards us with the food. So this same day, earlier that day, I had watched this interview with Darius J. Wright. Oh, 1 second. Let me report this person. Unwanted commercial content. Hate speech. Is it more harassment or bullying? I think it's more harassment or bullying. Okay. Report. Thank you, South African 101. I have just reported you, and then now remove. Hide user on this channel. Okay, there we go. Bye. And thank you for everybody watching. Please give a like if you're still watching this. I just had to remove somebody and report them as well, which fits perfectly into what I'm talking about. So that's why I said thank you to this person, if it even is a person. Who knows who it is, or what it is. Anyways, I was watching an interview of Darius J. Wright, and I forget the other guy's name, but if you go to my community or like post section, it's on that. It's the most recent post where I have screenshots of comments, and in the comment there, it's the link to the video, but I'll also include it after this is done being live in the description for which video I'm talking about. And I was listening to this interview, and I was like, yeah, this is great. Just like all his interviews are. Like, I was like, this is good. This is good. Like, it's always nice to hear when people speak from a certain resonance, because I'm so sensitive. It also helps me to like shift and better align and connect with myself. So there were two parts to that interview where he said things that I would say triggered me or stepped me over a tripwire. And the first one that really like stuck out, even though it came secondly, was his assumed mention of transgendered people, because he could be meaning something else. He didn't say specifically. And this is the third time that I had heard him speak about queer gendered people without elaborating thoroughly on it, which, you know, he doesn't have to elaborate thoroughly. I'm just pointing this out. And it always like struck me as very curious that he would bring this up in this particular manner that he brings it up. And every time I've heard him say this or something like this, and I'm like, what does this mean? Like, what is he getting at? And I'm looking at the comments and nobody mentions it. Like, nobody mentions this at all. But to be fair, most people don't mention like every little thing he said. But anyways, I have a point. So that was the first thing. Hi. That was the first thing that like really struck out to me, because I was like, okay, this is something that I keep hearing. And just to connect back to the original story I was talking about with the peach cobbler, this is also an instance where I was like, okay, I don't understand what he's saying. He has his own, you know, things going on for what he thinks or knows or believes. There's nothing for me to like rar at, you know. Everybody is entitled to their own, you know, means of speaking. And so I just usually let it go, or I'll like ask privately to people that I'm connected with, like potentially what he means by that. But this time, because of what happened yesterday, and I felt that calling to speak yesterday as inspired by my partner, I was like, I'm gonna leave a comment. You know, I'm gonna leave a comment about this. And of course, my comment wasn't derogatory or anything like that. It was just curious and just asking for support for people who could potentially explain what he means when he mentions queer gendered people to me, because I don't understand. For me, I don't understand why he mentions it in the way that he mentions it, knowing what, this is all my assumption, knowing what people are more than likely going to take from these statements. And then the other statement that spoke out to me as well after this second one, because it was earlier in the interview, is when he was talking about the difference between OBs and astral projection and something else. It's just like a different form of different word or form of astral projection, and basically saying that people love to lump them all together, OBE, astral projection, as if they're the same thing. And he said they're not, you know, and this is all me paraphrasing. Darius J. Wright in this interview said they're not the same thing at all. They're leagues apart. And he gave this like elaboration on that, saying that people come from OBE experiences. He said something like, again paraphrasing, you never heard anybody like that had an astral projection or saw a vision come back and say their life was changed forever from that, whereas you do with people who have OBEs. And that's the second thing that like stood out to me. And the reason that stood out to me is because I personally have not had I guess traditional OBE type of experiences, like the kind that he typically discusses and the different testimonies on his channel. But I have had experiences. I've had a shit ton of visions, dream premonitions, and like stuff while I'm wide awake, stuff while I'm not even meditating or trying to meditate. I have had experiences. I've had, while I was wide awake, someone come through my mirror in my closet and knocked it down to the point where it broke while I was wide awake. And there was nobody like in my closet, obviously. So that also was something that like tripwired me, because I literally made a video about that recently, about how just because you're not having OB experiences doesn't mean that your experiences aren't valid and aren't extremely powerful and life altering. And this is an example that I gave yesterday to my partner in this regard. Um, is like never knowing your whole life that Hawaii was a place. Like, let's say you live in Texas, for example, and it's particularly in this area of Texas where I'm at, where it's very humid and blazing hot all the time. Uh, you know, all these things that come with Texas, you know, the huge turkey legs, yada dee, la da da. And then one day someone FaceTimes you, like, I don't know, your sister went to Hawaii and she FaceTimes you and shows you like the beaches and the houses and the people and the culture and the food, just all through FaceTime. And that person, if something in them, is drawn to that or relates to Hawaii and the land and the people and the culture in that way, something in them is going to wake up. And from there on, they're going to have that drive in their mind, potentially. This is just an example. They could potentially have this drive in their mind to, I want to go to Hawaii. So they start researching, looking in the pictures, seeing if they can switch their position at their job to relocate, and to the islands. And this is an example of how something that is not an OBE, but is literally, and not the, from what I have heard and also experienced myself with the other side, how it's hyper real, more real than even this reality. But let's just say in terms of comparing it to astral projection, it's astral projection is like being on FaceTime, and then OBE would be like actually being at the location, physically there with your physical body. That FaceTime call from that sister could still completely shift that person's life to, it's shifting them to them now wanting to go to this location. It even changes you, your spiritual abundance. So I found that comment without this follow-up interesting, because I also understood what he was saying, which was, his point was saying that they're not the same thing and they shouldn't be lumped in together. But then the further elaboration on that was saying that you don't hear anybody have these profound life-altering experiences from visions or astral travel and the like. And that's not true. I found that to completely be not true. Just even the exposure to information such as the flat earth is enough, I would say, to completely shift someone's life. Look at, for the better, even. Look at Dave Weiss, yeah, Weis. All right, just going to report this person. Report. Unwanted content or spam report, and then boom. Okay, nice. Thank you for the like, 1123. I'm very excited about this. I feel like I've been saying everything beautifully. If you wanted to, I'm gonna see if I should touch back on what I was elaborating about transgender people. The reason I wouldn't go much into it because I already posted about it, but let me just take a moment to see if it's the right thing to do to go into it a little bit more. I'm already feeling like yes, so yes. Okay, I'm gonna go into it a little bit more. The reason that I'm bringing this up or was stepping over that tripwire a bit about this commentary is because on one end, what I assume that he is referencing is the distortion that has been happening with gender queerness in terms of the they, or the elites, as people say. But yeah, I'll just say the they, those those beings that have been up to is that when you hear someone who obviously has a huge following speak about this like it's laughable that somebody would be a queer gendered person, is that there's already a huge, aggressive, collective thought pattern that aligns with that type of thinking, in terms of like it's ridiculous, and this has real world consequences, in terms of fueling people to become aggressive in that in the physical world. It's hard. I'm having a little difficult time like explaining what I'm trying to say, but let me skip ahead. Like I said, just go read the post that I wrote about it. So after I initially made the post on my channel, because again, I feel called to start speaking about what I feel called to speak about, you know, decided to put on my channel. I was sitting there in the tub because I was taking a soak, and I had this like feeling of like, oh, did I say something the wrong way? But I was like, I'm sure I didn't, and I know what I'm talking about. You know, I know what I'm talking about. Oh, hey kitty, what are you doing? Kitty the cat's here. Let me show you. Wait, Kitty the cat. He won't let me keep him for long. He's on a hunt for some birds. See? Very, very fluffy. Anyway, what was I saying? The whole point that I even brought this up was to connect people. I don't think that's like the point that I was like getting at first. Oh yeah, I was sitting in my bathtub and I was thinking about this. I was feeling like, okay, did I say the right thing? Did I say it in a proper way? Because once again, I'm not trying to insult or be mean or malicious in any way, but I do want to address this, you know, in a way that I feel guided to address this. And I was sitting there saying like, I am shown, show me the truth about this situation. Show me personally what I need to know about queer gendered people. Is there something that perhaps I'm missing? Because personally, and for myself, I have watched what's it called, like I have documented, you know, these things and done research, and I've also read books written by queer gendered people and from the perspectives of queer gendered people, and know personally, you know, queer gender people or people have met. And so what he was kind of saying wasn't aligning to what I have seen for myself. And this is both like from I guess, social perspective, as well as using the integrity of my soul. What he's saying doesn't match completely. And I was saying this in the tub, like, show me what I'm missing, show me what I need to know. And sure enough, I get this notification, which was a text message from this this tea shop I like to go to. But that got my attention to see who it was. And when I checked my phone, I had a notification from YouTube saying that someone had left a comment. And when I tell you this comment, I believe it's by at Danny's Portions and Summations, something like that. But somebody named Danny, or I'm pretty sure that's how they pronounce it, left this very thorough response of everything I needed to hear. And it was more or less everything that I know for myself to be true. And it felt perfectly aligned and beautiful. And I share this to say that this is a part of the point that I was making with my final question in that post, which the final question was, do you personally know a person who identifies as transgender? Do you know personally? Have you sought out this information personally for yourself? Have you called your soul to know this? Have you called this information to you? You know, this is something that I'm saying for myself as well, not only just the audience or whoever needs to hear this. This is for myself. It's a reminder to myself that I know all things. We all know all things. We all have all truths within us. Um, and it's very important that we constantly be bringing things back to that truth, back to love, and have it centered in that. This is a call to spark your remembrance of self-empowerment, that you have these abilities. I sat there and I put this intention out for this information to come to me to confirm, really confirm in this very beautiful way, what I was already feeling to be true. And it did come to me very quickly, I might add. So yeah, just give me a minute. I hope everybody's doing well. And I'm gonna see if there's anything else I need to say, which I'm feeling here that there is. So I'm gonna see, okay, if there's anything else I need to say. I'm already kind of getting what I need to say. Okay, I don't know if y'all heard that little ding. Okay, there's nobody over there where that sound came from. Kitty, as you can see, is over here. Oh, I just remembered I had notes this whole time. Let me make sure I actually covered what I was gonna say. One of the things I wanted to say is, even if it is distortion in regards to queer gendered people, even if it is a distortion, in some cases, it is still their experience, and they deserve to be heard and treated with humility. That's a point that I wanted to make, because, I knew the initial comment that I was going to get was about it being, oh, it's a psyop, and everything is literally a psyop. Us being this size, you can consider my body as a distortion, because we used to be much bigger than this. So, anyways, so that was one of the points I wanted to make. And then the next one, which I already made, but I'm going to elaborate a little bit further. Just because you aren't having an OBE, i.e. out-of-body experience, doesn't mean that your life cannot change. Alex told me it was unexpected for a reason. So as I mentioned in my last live video, I have been practicing OBEs and tweaking and adjusting it so that it can work for me, because so far what I've been seeing is the methods that I've heard from or gotten from other people, teachers, they have not been working for me. And the times where I have had, where I woke up on the other side, it was naturally through my own way of being and doing things. So anyways, I've been practicing that, and that's what I've been really focused on recently. That, the OMAD diet, meditating more in general, sitting in silence, sitting in stillness, doing affirmations, walking into every space as source embodied, remembering that I am, all that good jazz. And I was on a Tuesday, I was like, oh, I want to go to the movies. I haven't been in a while, and I was kind of tottering a bit. And I was like, you know what, I'm going to go to the movies. And I went and I saw Disclosure Day, and it completely rocked my fucking world. And this is also another point that I want to make, because, I've heard people who are able to have OBEs pretty frequently, things like that. I've heard them be dismissive to a certain extent for like social media, technology, Netflix in particular, seeing movies. Everybody knows exactly what I'm talking about, and probably even myself. I would say, yes, myself. I would include myself in this category. We can be very dismissive of like, oh, it's, if you're doing this, and it's a waste of time to be going to the movies, and a waste of time to be doing this and that. I actually personally have gotten a lot of activations spiritually, like a lot of wake ups through visual media, in particular movies and even TV shows. I get quite a bit of messages through there. And this just goes right into alignment with the same thing these people say, which in a way is contradictory, which in a way everything is contradictory, because if you go read my post, as I said about the English language itself is distorted. So anyways, don't want to get too much into these things. But basically, I get a lot of codes, and because my soul, our souls are so intelligent that we're able to see through and supersede anything. There is nothing that could possibly limit us or block us or blind us. The moment that we will it, we will it, and we intend to see the truth. So this is an example. I saw Disclosure Day. It completely rocked my world. It activated the shit out of me, where I was able to tap again into, what do I call this? I'll call it my God self. My God self clicked in. And I've had this happen a couple of times now in my life without having OBEs. And usually, like, it's not even like around the same time, kind of, when I have had some my 2 OBE experiences. But anyways, this stuff be happening while I be wide awake. My God self clicks in, and I know her well. It feels like some part of me is awakened, and she just knows. She just fucking knows, like this higher, like, click in. She knows what to do, where to be, what to say, how to be there. And I can also feel this kind of like dissociation from like this self, like culture and things like that, kind of like not really recognizing culture. And I'll give an example of that right now. I went to, like, while I was in this God self state, I went to La Madeleine restaurant, and I swear to God, I was about to speak fluent French. Now, I'm not fluent in French. I know a little bit of French because I studied it for 4 years, but I'm not like fluent or anything. And it's like when I was about to say it, it's like my God self realized that, like, Jabria doesn't know that. And then I had to remember to speak in English. Like, just cool stuff like that. Just know that movie, it shifted me. I got a lot of information, and just knowing, I knew so much. I knew, like, the time this started, which place to go to that restaurant to get this particular thing. And also, when I went to that area where the restaurant was, the whole area had like a power outage with the traffic lights. Like, the restaurant was fine. I guess they had a generator, but like the traffic lights were out in the area. It was very, very crazy, intense day. And 2 days later, I met this friend who I feel that I've known for forever. Like, I could feel this intense connection, but this was my first time speaking to this person, and his name was Alex. And I told him about this experience and how I had been trying to have OBEs and practicing it. And instead of the OBE, I got this, where I went to this movie and I was super duper like shifted and unlocked. And he said, if it would have been an OBE, it wouldn't have been unexpected. And it's so crazy that he said that, because that guy, Dr. Joe, who talks about changing your life through like your thoughts and what you speak and all that good sauce, I had no idea who this man was. Probably never seen him in my life, maybe like, scrolling or something like that on YouTube. But I had been watching that guy, Dr. Joe, probably since Monday that week. Like, I had watched one of his videos, and he was talking about how You have to change your life. You have to start doing things that you don't do. You have to literally become a different person, which right in there aligns with, I already had known that because I watched the movie Everything Everywhere All at Once. It's telling you this intelligence in this movie that's, a little over 2 hours long, and then there's this doctor who studied this for years and came to this conclusion. I already got that from that movie. That's what I'm saying about, our intelligence and how we're able to extract source from anything, because everything is source. So there is some source in everything, because everything, again, is source. And anyways, Dr. Joe talks about, like, once you start making these changes in your life about how you think and what you do, instead of grabbing the same coffee mug over and over, grab this random one with the letter B on it, stuff like that. And he says, and watch, something in your life will happen unexpectedly. And he said to the audience, why is it unexpected? Why do you think it has to be something unexpected? And his answer was, because if not, it would have been the same. And so it was so beautiful that day how that person gave me that code back. And that's something that I want to deliver to you. Source is in all things. Source is in all experiences, even in mundane shit. Like, please, and I'm talking to myself when I say this, please, let's stop dismissing our everyday experiences as nothing. And, if it's not this specific thing, then it's not powerful. If it's not this specific thing, then it's not beautiful. If it's not this specific thing, then it's not holy. Yes, it is. Even a mishap with peach cobbler is sacred. It is always for you. Why? It's in your reality. It was also unexpected. And boom, right there, I have proof that all of this work that I have been doing for myself, for the highest good of myself, for the highest good of all beings, not just humans, all beings, even the cat who I don't know where he is. That's what I'm doing this for. It's working. It's proof, because that was something that was unexpected. That means I'm shifting my life. I'm shifting my reality. It's not the same thing happening every day. And I just thought that was just so beautiful how Alex put it, that I wanted an OBE. What I got was the movie Disclosure Day. And from what I've heard in these little jokes about, let's say God as a being, right? People talk about God as a being. It's like God laughs at your plans. What's that thing? Like how God laughs at your plans that you make. And, like that little like kikiing God that's kind of like, ha ha ha, but like in a good way. That's what it was. So, it's important. All of this is important. All of this is inclusive of source. All of this. In case anybody wants to know, oh, somebody said they agree. Origin of the frequency. Oh, let's see. Dora, you will have a beautiful future. You must feel so rich. And then brainwashed, ... from Pop. Oh, wow. Thank you for agreeing. So, yeah, I'll get into some stuff that I've been doing recently, because I said I was going to be on here as long as I needed to. So I'm going to be on here as long as I need to. Thank you for all the likes and for the support, all that stuff. I feel it. And I reflect it. 11:44. Excuse me. Affirmation that I do a lot is, I am source embodied. And I usually do mine 3 times. I am source embodied. I am source embodied. I am having the experience of source itself. These things are facts. They are truth. no matter, like, whenever I get, you know, frustrated, or I'm like, I don't like this and stuff, I try to I do remind myself of this, that God is always God. Source is always source. Spirit is always spirit. However you want to word it, whatever, you know, words you have for the I am. The I am is always the I am. There is no way to ever be apart from it. It's literally, quite literally, scientifically proven to always be everywhere, all the time, all at once. So reminding myself of that, it it grounds me, and it all and because I also know that, like, it's a fact, you know, I am source embodied. I am having the experience of source right now. That is the affirmation that I love. Both of those, I love to say those. I love to say that I have everything I want, need, and desire. Any moment where I'm like in my brain that's been super duper conditioned to think in terms of lack, I'm like, oh, I can't do this today, or I can't get this yet. I switch it. I have. I'll say that over and over. I have. Override that. What else do I do? First thing when I wake up, first thing when I'm going to bed, going to sleep, I say, I am free. I said that last year in June or May, I think May of 2025. That was my affirmation. I've updated a little bit, but the I am free. I am free. I am free. I am free. I am free of all limitations and things like that. Of all confines, of all contracts that, you know, don't serve me, of any limiting thoughts, patterns of belief. I am free of all these things. Another one I say is I am abundant and always, at all times, on all days, something like that. I like to rhyme. I'm a writer, if you couldn't tell. I love to write. And what else? What else is a good one that I should share? Oh, I am shown. I said that one earlier about me sitting in the tub. I am shown. I love that one. Like, I be using that one all the time. Like, I'm like, okay, I don't know if I should go here now. I'm kind of feeling like going to this place, but kind of not. Like, show me, make it clear. Show me clearly. Am I supposed to go here? Is that for the best of me or not? My partner was asking me, like, okay, what if, like, you say that and you don't get, like, a message? Say it again. Make it clear. Make it clear to me. Show me. Like, don't be afraid. I feel like, you know, people who had a religious backing, which I think most majority people do in this world, this religious backing, there can be this kind of fear because you're assuming whoever's listening to you, whether it be your guides, your ancestor, angels, your higher self, really is who it is gonna be like, you know, you have to bow to them because they're like better than you. So therefore you can't, you know, make a request and a demand in a certain way. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. I am proof. I do this all the time. Show me, make it clear. I am shown, I am shown, I am shown. And say it powerfully and with intent. Okay? Something that I posted about yesterday, was the mudras. And I hope I am pronouncing this the right way. Please give me grace. I am American. But the mudras, which is basically like, specifically, I know there's like body seals that you can do, which I want to get into as well, but pretty sure mudras focus on the hands and just movements with the hands. Basically, everything you can make with your hand, from, in my opinion, is a mudra. Click for confirmation from whoever this is standing over here. Could just be my own energy, but I feel like, though, there's somebody over here in green and maybe like a animal. That's what I'm feeling, like a green animal. That's weird. Anyways, I'm the Bright Queen. I'm psychic. I can do cool shit, and so can you. Maybe that's another affirmation. I am cool. I am cool shit. I'm able to do cool shit. Um, Anyways, I've been doing the mudras. So I have struggled with my constipation and my eyesight. I wear contacts for a long, long time. I'll just say that. And I've been like, you know what? I'm going to heal this shit on my own. Like, I'm not going to be using all this stuff. I can heal this on my own. If I can make certain shit appear in my reality, which I can, which you have, you have done it. You've been able to make shit appear in your reality. If I can focus on like, I want to have this food today, and then I get that food today, I can heal myself. It's the same energy of intention and of love. And I was shown this information. It came to me. I was actually looking for different information, but this information came through with that other information because I put it out, and so it comes to me, which, like I said, with that karma, it's really instant. It's just like the delays with the time in this place where it seems like it's two different things. Same with all of us. Anyways, I came across mudras. I used this one. I don't know the name of it. I forgot. But it's, you use your middle finger and ring finger, and the pads of them go on top of the thumbs. I usually hold it like this. You see, like on the side like that. And then not only that, I focus on my digestive system. I focus on this area, and I can usually feel it rumble right away because I've been practicing now for a couple of weeks. And I tell my digestive system to release anything that is no longer serving you. Release anything that is no longer needed. And sure enough, I have been able to induce my own bowel movements. And I know this is not, popular hot topics for spiritual community. But I'm Jabria, and this is my channel, so I can do whatever the hell I want to, or the heaven I want to. I have been able to induce my own BMs, my own bowel movements, through using this mudra and with my own intention, because I've done it before with just like my intention, and it's weaker. And this is a good way, I'm feeling, to use a technique to develop that instantaneously. Eventually, I won't have this problem at all, but eventually I'll be able to just think, release, and then I'll be able to just have a bowel movement from there. But this is a practice. The same thing with how I use oracle cards and tarot cards when I was first getting into my abilities. I used tarot and oracle, tarot and oracle, tarot and oracle. And from there, I realized, oh, I can do this with no cards. Before then, I could do it with no cards. But those tools, the physical cards themselves, helped me to develop this ability more, which I also do teach this or coach this, inspire this within people. I'm a spiritual coach. If you are interested in working with me, you can go to mindinbodyreset.com. MIND, the letter N, BODYRESET.com. Oh, wow. Jimmy Garcia, 5143 says, no one cares. Oh, and look, original frequency says, I know I have been thinking the same thing about my eyes. So yes, so I've been doing that mudra for my digestive system. And then for my eyes, it's this one that I use. So it's the pinky and the ring finger, the pads of those to the thumb. And I usually do these like this. And then same here, like this. I'll do like this. Now this one, I haven't really seen like instantaneous progress like I can eventually with the digestive system. But granted, I usually do this one when I'm like busy. But see, the gas is already moving, because I was doing that the other, I'm gonna say digestive system mudra, even though that's not the name for it. But this one, I don't be sitting down and like focusing that often like I do with the digestive system one, because I have contacts, but nothing seems to really be helping the constipation naturally. So yeah, this one for the eyes is what I use. Probably gonna research like a better one than this one. But something else I do with my eyes, I'll hold this and I'll say, I can see, I can see, I can see. And even when I'm not doing the mudra for my eyes, it's like when I walk around without my contacts or my glasses on, I'll just be telling myself, like I'll look in the mirror, I can see, I can see, I can see, I can see. Interestingly enough, oh my gosh, interestingly enough, that's a long ass word. I was talking with my best friend about this, and we were both talking. I was telling him that I was just feeling so hungry. And I think it's, my hormones. I was like, I want to eat this and this and this and this and this. And I was saying, I think I just have the feeling to like eat for comfort and not the actual need to eat, which I think we all can feel. And he was, he brought up how when he was a kid, he used to love to watch TV because it gave him an excuse to eat a bowl of cereal. And when he said that, I was like, whoa, like right there is that connection to the eyes and the digestive system, because we both have issues with the same thing. We both have struggled with constipation. I'm healing that. We both have blurry eyesight. I'm healing that. But I was like, right there is that connection with TV or like watching something, probably like the blue light or whatever the fuck, and that connection with digestive system. It's almost like the placating. So if we think in terms of like the chakras, right? Like the sight or the third eye kind of around that area, and the sacral chakra area. What is sacral about, right? It's about creativity. It's about being the creator, being the teacher. This is all just my intuitive stuff. The sacral chakra reminds me of the number 33. It's the womb area. It's where you're like gestating stuff, where you're making stuff, where you're building stuff, where you're holding stuff. And what are you doing when you watch TV? You're watching somebody else do stuff while you yourself suppress that movement. So I was like, oh, look, there it is right there. Like that connection between like the eyes and the stomach area. So as I heal one, I'm going to be automatically healing the other one. Yeah, we are our own healers. We are our own healers. I was telling him yesterday that I'm actually grateful that right now I don't have any health insurance, because instead of being like how I grew up thinking in this mentality, oh, I don't really need to worry about my health too much because I'm just going to go to the doctor, twice a year. They'll tell me if anything's wrong and I'll adjust from there, to where in this scenario where I was forced, to start really taking my health and how I'm feeling into my own hands, and finding these natural resources, which, by the way, cannot say it enough, oregano oil. Oregano oil. Even though we can heal, all of these things about ourselves, because really, a way to look at it is really not like healing in the way that we think about it. It's freeing. It's freeing because we're naturally perfect. But semantics, it's just words and stuff. I've been able to like manage pain before, with my thoughts, and so have you. I think anybody who like has worked a 9 to 5 has been able to kind of persevere through pain and override them. But I'll just give like a example of something else that I do, even though I'm feeling something about this. What else? Am I not supposed to share this? What is this? Okay. We can heal ourselves through our will. I don't think there's any like issue with me saying this, but I am feeling something. Maybe I'm supposed to get off here soon. But I was gonna say the last time when I had my menstrual cycle, I was cramping, and I would put my hand on the area and visualize, like, because I know that, you know, beyond all the stuff, it's just what I'll call atoms, and there's space around those atoms. Like when you really go into it, you zoom, 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 zoom in. It's just space around it, right? Or what I'll call space, because I don't actually know what any of these things are, just terms, right? And so if there's that space between them, I can move them around, because at that state that they're in, like for example, this cup, but this cup is not really a cup. It's just all these tiny things in a certain position that's making it appear to be a cup. So if I wanted to, I could will it to move. So to change into something else, because it's not actually fixed, it's just appearing as fixed. So I put my hand on my stomach and I take whatever it is that's appearing as pain, and I visualize moving these little things, these little atoms around, moving it to where it's no longer causing the pain. And it would go away. The issue was I was going to sleep at this time. And so I would do that. I'd be like, ooh, remove it, and it would go away. And then I go to sleep and it come back. I'm going to get to the point where like, I don't even have cramps at all. I'm already getting to that point, you know. Powerful, powerful stuff. Very excited. But I just want to reiterate, because I'm about to skedaddle, because I'm feeling that it's time to go. I just want to reiterate that all of these experiences, sitting right here, having someone tell me they don't care about what I'm talking about, all of this is the experience of source. Never invalidate yourself. Never like belittle yourself into, you know, thinking that just because I don't have a OBE and I only had a dream, you know, I just have dreams like a normal person, that you're not powerful and that you're not magical and that you aren't actively creating your own reality, because you are. You are. You are, you are, you are. You are. Something that I said in my post today was, it was something like, in many ways, all things that are impossible to express through the English language. And yet I have just translated that impossibility. Play that back again. I'm Jabri, I'm the Bright Queen. I'm about to go use the restroom because I'm awesome. And I'll see you later. Bye. Bye, Origin of the Frequency. I feel like I know who you is. I feel like I subscribe to you. Right.